Hi, everyone. Welcome to Autism BC Talks. I am Sarah. I'm Vancouver Island Regional Coordinator. And today we have Bonita with us today. She is from Variety BC, Program and Outreach Manager. And we're going to learn a little bit about all the funding initiatives that Variety offers. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me, Sarah.
If you don't mind a quick introduction and telling us a little bit about Variety BC if people aren't familiar with the organization.
Absolutely. So Variety is a charitable organization that helps children that has a disability designation as recognized by a healthcare professional. We help families with therapies, medical equipment. I recently started with type 1 diabetic supplies, and then also autism assessments and psychoeducational assessments, which we are very, very excited to have added to our list. Obviously, there is a detailed list of what we fund on our website at variety.bc.ca.
That's great. And can you tell us a little about the autism assessment funding and how that works?
Yes. So as I mentioned, in June 2021, Variety realized that there is a great need for families to be able to access funding for these very, very expensive private assessments. That was also a long wait list. There is also now funding available for psychoeducational assessments. So the main thing is that Variety helps after a family has gone to a private assessor and received a quote for these services. Then they can come to Variety and apply for a grant to cover the cost of these assessments.
So they need to have the assessor first. That's correct.
Correct. There is a little bit of a challenge here as the wait times at private assessments have obviously become now longer as there is a great need. And also we have a lot of families that are applying for grants to Variety, the children's charity. So we are a little overwhelmed with the grant requests. That means that even us are only able to process applications not within 12 weeks. And so we do find that some families would go to multiple private assessors to find a spot or be on a waitlist at multiple private assessors. And therefore, we ask that families submit their application to Variety as soon as possible. Because we have that 12th week. They can always change who they want as a private assessor at any time by emailing us the change of quote and name, but at least they are already in the system and they have started with that 12-week wait period and then go from there. So to answer your question, Sarah, I would suggest that families go to our website, variety.bc.ca, and under support, autism assessment, download the application form. There is also a document checklist. They fill in the 5-page application form. It's very simple. We just want the child's information, the parent's information. We want to know if they have any other funding options. And we would like to know who referred their child to an autism assessment, and have a letter from that person, that healthcare professional or school professional. And then also a quote. But if they are unsure which assessor they will be going with, they can indicate that on the application forms. They are on a wait list with A and with B. They submit that all via email or mail. That information is on the bottom of page 5 of the application form. And that moment we receive that application, that's when the 12-week period starts. They can then go on a wait list out on a private assessor, and then at any point, sometimes they're lucky and they get in on a cancellation spot. They can then communicate with us and let us know by email that they have received a spot at a private assessor, who it will be, and make sure that we have the quote, a letter. All the private assessors are now aware of Variety's funding. They know which document we need when we ask for a quote. They have a standard letter that they submit to us. And so it's very easy to ask these private assessors just for the standard quote letter needed by Variety, the children's charity.
Okay, perfect. So does it get expedited if they suddenly get a cancellation? Like, is there a way they can contact you and say, we need this pretty fast?
So what have happened in the past is Variety would try and help because we know and understand that families are waiting a long time. We know that sometimes they've already started in the wait period and have been waiting 6 to 8 months, and then very at last minute know that Variety is the charity that would be able to pay for this. And then they would like us to expedite. But that caused a big backlog at Variety, which means that some families have been now waiting over a year for their grants to be reviewed, where some families submit an application because they want it to be expedited. They get approved within 2 weeks, which is not very equitable to all families. We really try and move to the process where first come, first serve. And so, no, at this point, we don't expedite. So we would not be able to do it faster than 12 weeks.
Okay, and there is an income cap, I believe.
There is, yes. Currently, Variety, as you know, Variety fundraise. We also have a big fundraiser coming up every February, telethon. So we are very dependent on donations for our services. And to make sure that we can use these donations towards families that's most in need, we have an income cap of net income 85,000.
Okay, that's perfect. Is there any exemption to that if a family was really stuck, or is that pretty set in stone?
Oh, if we do get a letter from a family indicating that they are a big family, more than 3 children and multiple special needs, then we will take that under special consideration.
Okay, that's really good to know for the families. And what about travel? If a family has to go far for an assessment, maybe they're living in a more remote community, is it just the assessment that's covered? There's no accommodation or anything. That's right.
Yes. So currently we aren't able to help with travel or accommodation fees for families that have to travel. We do refer them to their local charities, service clubs like the Kinsman or the Rotary Club. We have found that they are very helpful. And obviously, if they have to travel quite far, there is Hope Air that can also be approached for travel.
Okay, that's great. Now, does the income cap apply to the psych eds as well? Or is
That's
that,
correct.
yeah, okay. So that's all across the board. And I know you guys are offering some mental wellness applications as well. I was just reading a bit about that on your website. So that's for counseling?
Yes. So unlike most of our other grants that the children have to clarify, for all our grants, children have to have a diagnosis, confirmed diagnosis. That is not the case with autism assessments and psychoeducational assessments because those are the tests that will give them those diagnoses. We just want a medical professional or a education professional to confirm that there's that red signs. With counseling, mental health, any professional can indicate that the child is in distress and need mental health support. And so they do not need to be first special needs. They only need a indication that they need the medical and the counseling support.
Now, can people do multiple applications for different children, or is it per family, so many per year?
They can do multiple applications. So we fund each child. So if a family has multiple children, they can apply for each child once per year.
That's great. I think that is all the questions I have. Is there anything else you'd like families to know?
I just wanted to refer them back again to our website. Our website has a lot of information. We've tried to, it's a brand new website that is very easy, not too much writing to read. There is the eligibility criteria. There's a points indicating the process, downloading the application form, downloading the document checklist. As I previously said, at the bottom of page 5, it indicates that you can either email the application and supporting documents in, or you can mail it in. And we just ask that families make sure that you have all your documents ready at one time and send it in. It does delay the whole process if you have missing documents and multiple times need to be communicated with you to request these multiple documents. One of the biggest things that we are finding is that families struggle with the tax document. The tax document is the notice of assessment. The notice of assessment that you get back from the government, that's the Canada Revenue Agency, after they've assessed your taxes, and they send out the notice of assessment, or the CCB, the child tax benefit, to indicate what your tax is. We do not accept the T4 summary. The T4 summary is what you fill in to submit your taxes to the Canada Revenue Agency. So that document has not yet been confirmed by the government. And so we do find that families struggle with that specific document, and that is one of the major. Also, another thing that is quite regularly asked is families asking about being separated from their husband. Mm-hmm. If the child is living with mom or dad, we would, and they can clearly indicate that they are separated. Usually that is on the CCB, it indicates that mom is separated. Only mom needs to submit her income taxes, or dad, whoever is the guardian. So we don't need taxes from both parents.
That's really good to know. And if anyone's struggling with the application form, can they reach out to you guys?
Yes, they can. Obviously, it is always better to do it by email. We are overwhelmed with telephone calls and don't always get back to the telephone calls, where email is very easy to reply back and reply to them first come, first serve.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Bonita. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And like I said, if any questions, obviously first place to go to is our website, variety.bc.ca, but we are also available by phone and email for any questions and support. Thank you very much.
Thank you.